Hi there, Steve Kaufman. Today I didn't get any Korean done. Zero. Day 81, zero Korean study, except for the little bit that I listened to on my way to where I spent the rest of my day today. I am a bit of a rebel, always have been. I have a good friend, a Chinese fellow who goes against the flow of the Chinese community, immigrant community here, who spend a lot of their time complaining about how things should be better for them. My friend, Mr. Huang, says, and he has a group he calls the Alliance for the Support of Canadian Values. And his point of view is people come here to Canada, they should be thankful that they're in Canada, they should support the greater common interest of all Canadians rather than always trying to get a better deal for their Chinese community. And he runs into a lot of trouble, and to a large extent the Chinese community, the recent immigrants, are very much influenced by the Chinese consulate and Chinese government policy, and he's not afraid to go against that. So whenever he organizes an event, and there's generally, the ethnic press, the Chinese media is there, I'll generally go there to support him. And today the subject was the change in Canadian legislation governing investor immigrants, where there was a system where as long as you lent the Canadian government $800,000, you could get a passport, which was just abused. Often the money was just borrowed from a bank here. It wasn't invested in any significant employment-creating enterprise. It was just a fast track for people with money, which a lot of people thought was unfair. And finally the government, despite their inclination to want to win votes any way they can, and operating on the squeaky wheel, gets more attention, gets more oil principle, have maintained this program for 20 odd years, even though it's proven to be ineffective. I took a friend of mine who's an expert on immigration, who's 82, and he's recently had a knee replacement, so I had to pick him up, and he's struggling to get into my car. It's raining. We drive out to Richmond. We have a Chinese meal with the group, and then we go to this meeting. So I'm going to, if it works, because I've had trouble uploading my videos, if it works, you're going to see no Korean today, but you're going to see some excerpts from both a television interview that I did and some of my remarks to the group. What's that got to do with 81 Day Challenge? Not much, except to say that, we're winding down. It is pressure to say for 90 days I've got to put in 2-3 hours a day into language learning. I'm not going to get 2-3 hours in tomorrow either, because I'm going to play golf with my wife. I'm going to try and get some in. I think, as I said before, I'm over the hump. I've developed a base in Korean, a base of knowledge, a base of familiarity, a base of content that can keep me going for quite a while. But I'm going to try and maintain, my at least an hour or two a day. But I'm just being ambushed by the Ukrainian situation, by these Chinese people, by my wife playing golf. It's just not possible. When I was a full-time student of Chinese, I could just devote every day to learning Chinese. I just can't do that anymore. If you're young out there, you don't have any excuses. But I have other obligations. So hopefully you'll be able to look at these clips. If you speak Chinese, you'll understand. If you don't, I'll tell you roughly what it's about. It's this whole investor immigrant thing. And my perspective is that all immigrants should be treated the same. There should be no special treatment for these wealthy immigrants unless they make a significant investment, like build a factory, like several millions of dollars, like a major employment creation opportunity, not just to come in and buy a passport. And the best immigrants are the ones that come here and work and contribute and integrate in our society, not the ones that buy a passport and then move back to Beijing and come here when they're old so they can take advantage of the health system. And unfortunately, that's what's happened in a lot of cases. Now, the immigrant consultants, immigration lawyers, and of course the real estate agents, they love having these people come. But as was pointed out in the meeting, it means that a lot of young people can't buy homes in Vancouver because they're too expensive. Prices are driven up by these wealthy people. Not exclusively, but it's a contributing factor. But fundamentally, it's just not fair. Line up with everyone else. If you have the qualifications to get in, fine. And once you come in, we would like you to stay here and contribute. And so those were some of the things that we talked about. I also mentioned the fact that contrary to prevailing, orthodoxy in Canada that we are this multicultural society as opposed to the American melting pot. In fact, that's not true at all. Canada is just as much of a melting pot. Generally speaking, in the past, people just blend in. By the third generation, they're probably not married to someone of the same ethnic origin. And really, that's the only way you can run a country. You can't have a country that consists of, you got the Chinese over here, and the Punjabis over there, and the Iranians over here, and the Greeks over here, and the Italians. First generation, they love that. But by the second and third generation, it tends to get watered down. The politicians support all of this multicultural stuff because they think it's a way of kind of a convenient way to gather in votes from this ethnic group and that ethnic group. But it's not really in the interest of the country, in my view. So those are some of the issues that were discussed, but I'm not going to make subtitles. And hopefully the whole video gets uploaded. Bye for now.对这个影响我不大清楚，因为我刚才这个 Martin 他研究了这个问题，所以这个投资移民最近20年对加拿大的经济或者是社会的这个贡献不是很大。
为什么您觉得不是很大？
从另一方面看，我觉得是很不公平。有钱的移民可以很快的拿到加拿大的护照，一般的这个技术移民要等6个月、1年、2年，这是不公平的。所以，假如真的那些投资移民在加拿大创造这个就业的这个机会，搞一个工程，假如是真的有这种贡献的话，
那您想？
我不太同情，可以这样说，没有多大同情。
那您觉得这些受影响的人应该用一个什么样的心态去看待这个问题？
他们就是他们应该跟其他技术移民排队。完了。我回答以后，我要对于这些这个问题提出我这个意见。最后这个问题啊，我想这种移民间就是我被迫留在加拿大这种态度，在其他的这个社区差不多没有。差不多吧，
其他民族应该
没有，因为什么呢？因为可能现在有，但是本来是没有。因为移民不容易，移民就是说呢，你从你很习惯的一个环境，有朋友、有亲戚，什么都舒服的这种环境，你要搬到另外一个环境，这不容易，非常不容易。而且在加拿大，因为我父母也是移民嘛，这个。第一代他肯定会牺牲自己，因为从很熟悉的环境搬到不熟悉的环境，他认识好多人，有很多 connections 关系，什么都方便，搬到一个不方便的地方。所以第一代在大多的情况之下是牺牲，会不会讲本来的语言一样，都成为美国人、加拿大人，就是加拿大就是这个宣传不一样。这个政策所说的不一样，但是实际上，甚至于在加拿大，比如说有了一个调查，你认为不认为移民应该这个采取主流社会的文化？加拿大人说对的比例比美国还高，这是事实。这宣传是另外，这个多元文化呢是政府，特别是自由党。为了吸引这个移民的投票，但是实际上没这个问题，因为你看，你们的儿子到学校会交朋友，也不一定专门找一些会讲中文的朋友，他们会跟印度的、中国的哪儿的，他们会讲英语，可能要跟另外一种种族人结婚什么的，再过1代、2代、3代，已经就是一个大融入，所以这个没有什么基本分别，没有什么基本分别。